Kathesha arrived at the library, they caught sight of Mrs. Hillerworth and noticed that her smile was wide and that she seemed chipper, if the tone of her voice, humming, was any indication. So Kathesha asked Mrs. Hillerworth, "What is making you so happy?" "Oh, I'm just in a generally good mood, that's all," Mrs. Hillerworth responded in a high-pitched tone of voice. "Oh, is that so?" Linda asked. "Actually," explained Mrs. Hillerworth, "I'm just excited about the reception celebrating the grand opening of our newly relocated main branch." "Oh, when is it?" Kathesha asked. "This Friday, starting at 5:30 p.m., answered Mrs. Hillerworth. Well, Friday came, as did 5:30 p.m. that day, and the grand opening party was underway. At least 150 people, Linda, Kathesha, and Mrs. Hillerworth among them, were in attendance. There were plenty of refreshments available: cheese, crackers, pickles, deviled eggs, carrot sticks, celery sticks, stuffed peppers, chocolate-covered jalapeno peppers, candy-coated pimento peppers, and, to make the long list of available refreshments short, chocolate cake covered from top to bottom with sauteed onions. While Linda and Kathesha enjoyed the refreshments, there was music playing in the background and dancing on the ground floor level. Later on in the evening, Kathesha was proceeding toward the refreshments table when she spotted a mid-sized man in her late 20s whose name was Barnaby Corndale. She stared at him for 45 solid seconds before approaching the refreshments table. As soon as she got there, she saw Paul, whose plate was full of food. Instantly, Paul recognized Kathesha upon sight, and he approached her and said, "Don't I know you?" At that, Kathesha turned her attention to Paul and said, "Maybe. Where would I have seen you last?" "Down the street," Paul replied. "A few days ago. Those snooty girls who tried to pressure you to get off the street. My dog scared them away. Do you remember now?" "Now I remember," Kathesha recalled, "and then my friend and I made our way to the library." Suddenly, Barnaby approached Paul and complained, "What is she doing here?" "Like, duh. She has as much right to be here as you do," replied Paul in a goofy-style, deep tone of voice. "Well, excuse me," said Barnaby, while he turned up his nose and departed from them. Paul redirected his attention to Kathesha and said, "You'll have to excuse a lot of the people in this neighborhood. They have this really crusty attitude towards city dwellers, and this really appalling tendency to one-up people." "So I notice," Kathesha said. "This business of one-upmanship stinks." "Tell me about it," Paul commented. "Anyway, I have to talk to the librarian about something," said Kathesha.